everybody! This week we're going to learn about when Jesus was 12 years old. We don't know a lot about Jesus growing up, but he was born a baby, right? So he had to be a kid too. But this is the only story we really have about when Jesus was a kid. It's about when he got lost in the temple in Jerusalem. And then afterwards, we're going to make a craft. We're going to make our own scroll. So go ahead and listen to the story. Jesus grew up in the town of Nazareth with his mother Mary and Joseph. When Jesus was 12 years old, Mary and Joseph took him to Jerusalem for the festival of the Passover. It was a holiday celebration, and thousands of people from all over the country were in the city. At the end of the festival, Mary and Joseph joined the others from Galilee to make their trip home. They thought Jesus was with their relatives and friends in the crowd on the return journey. That evening, Mary and Joseph set up camp, but when they looked for Jesus, they could not find him. After a frantic search, they realized Jesus was not with their relatives or friends. Immediately, they set off back to Jerusalem to find him and searched the city for 3 days. Having searched and searched, they went into the temple, and suddenly they saw him. Jesus was sitting with the teachers of God's law. Those listening to Jesus were amazed at the questions he asked and the answers he gave. "Son, why have you treated us like this?" asked Mary. "Joseph and I have been anxiously searching for you." "Why were you searching for me?" Jesus asked. "Didn't you know that I had to be in my Father's house, doing what he wants me to do?" Mary and Joseph did not understand what he was saying to them. Jesus returned to Nazareth with his parents and was obedient to them. Mary treasured all these things in her heart. And Jesus grew in wisdom and stature and in favor with God. So, this story is one of the only stories we have about when Jesus was a kid growing up. So, what do you think was interesting about that? Well, Mary and Joseph thought Jesus was lost, but was he really lost? What did Jesus say to them? That he could be found in his Father's house. But where was he? He was in the temple, right? And whose house is the temple? God, right? So Jesus was in God's house, his Father's house. And he was doing what his Father wanted. What was Jesus doing? He was teaching, right? He was teaching and answering questions that nobody else thought a 12-year-old should be able to answer, right? They were amazed. This is helping Jesus to show who he is to his parents and all the other people in Jerusalem. This is the first kind of story in the Bible where we see Jesus showing that he is the Son of God. He knows all this information at 12 years old that these scholars and these teachers have been studying their whole lives. And he knows more than them. And they're amazed. So this is just the very beginning of Jesus showing who he was to the world. And later on, when he's a little bit older, he starts his ministry. Today we're going to make a scroll as our craft. So scrolls are how people kept their information. And Jesus, in this story, was talking about all the information he knew about the Bible and the sacred scriptures. So you're going to make your own scroll today to help you remember this story. For this week's craft, you're going to want a small sheet of paper, a Sharpie, a piece of yarn or a piece of string, a cup of coffee that your mom or your dad made for you, and a blow dryer. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to write a Bible verse on your sheet of paper with your Sharpie. Mine's going to come from this story. And all that heard him were astonished at his understanding and his answers. And that is Luke 2:47. So what is this verse about? What was happening in the story when the people were astonished? What does astonished mean? It means they were amazed. So what do you think Jesus was doing? This is when he was talking to the teachers in the temple, right? And they were all amazed at what he knew. Because he was only 12 years old, right? Theoretically, he shouldn't know very much about God's message. He should just be learning it himself, right? But he knew way more than the teachers did. After you take it out of your coffee, you're going to unroll it, and then you're going to blow dry it. You're going to keep blowing. Once you're done doing that, it should have turned your paper slightly brown and made it look old. And then what you're going to do is you're going to roll up your paper into a scroll. And then you're going to take your string and you're going to tie a nice bow around it. And then it looks like a scroll. So scrolls are how people in Jesus' time, and even longer ago than that, kept their writings and their sacred scriptures, and even just the things they knew about everyday life, they kept in these scrolls because they couldn't make books yet. They haven't developed anything to print things, so they don't have like a printing press or a computer to make books and things like that. So they hand wrote everything on scrolls, and this is how they saved their information. So I hope you had fun making your craft this week. I hope you're having fun being back in school, and I hope to see you in Sunday school on Sunday. Bye!